Anything else that's happening here?
Guillaume Balaguer, Pat Nevin and Ian Ladyman are with me until 8:30. But we're going to start now by hearing from Kyle Walker. He joined for around £50 million in the summer. I went down to the Manchester City Footballing Academy earlier today, and he told me, Kyle, that he had no preconceived ideas about what it would be like working under Guardiola.
You hear a few stories and stuff, but I like to judge people on, face value and how I see them and how I get along with them and work with them. But, when I knew that there was, interest in me, for me, to come and play at Manchester City, I thought I've got to take it with both hands, because these opportunities don't come around, too often, to work with a manager in a club and players like this.
The manager being the most important part of that little group?
Yeah, I think most definitely. I think the players speak for himself, that, they've got good players, and, we're in a very fortunate position where, the chairman and the owners have invested a lot of their money and wealth into Manchester City. So they're always going to be good players, but I think probably, no disrespect to, previous managers, I think he just pips them with what he's won and what he's done for, for football, really.
No, and I think it's really important to say during this interview, this isn't a compare and contrast. This isn't what it was like for you before. This is just what it's like for you now, working under Pep Guardiola, because every manager will improve you in some way or other, surely, throughout your career.
Yeah, of course. I think, we don't want to compare or anything, but Pochettino, he improved me massively. For the the couple of seasons that I was there working underneath him, and what I learned, it was terrific. But obviously different managers have different ways of looking at things, and obviously the gaffer here, he's special. He is special with just the detail and just simple things that probably other managers bypass, that he just keeps banging on around and banging on about and banging on about day in, day out, until the penny finally drops. And I think it's shown in our performances.
So what has he banged on and banged on and banged on about with you, maybe, that is simple and you weren't aware of?
Just it's like ridiculous things where if the pass is coming from you, you take it with the correct foot. Some of the footballers, we do get lazy and we do use our favoured foot a lot of the time to, control the ball. But that split second with controlling it with your left to play with your right, it can make all the difference in, creating a chance or scoring a goal. And there's a lot of other things, tactically. I probably don't get forward as much from what I did at Tottenham. And my defending has probably come on leaps and bounds here, where I've had to think a little bit more about my positioning. So I've saved my energy in a lot of the games this season by just staying back and, controlling my winger, which that's one of the things that he does go on about a lot, control your winger, Kyle, control your winger. But, we're blessed with, fantastic players in front of me that can go and, win your games in a blink of an eye.
Just on the control it with the correct foot for the position you're in, and then if you need to, switch it to your favoured foot. Actually, that's something that Kevin De Bruyne does an awful lot, doesn't he? So many of his... He always takes it with the correct foot and then whips it in with the other one.
Yeah, and you probably sat here thinking, well, that should be normal. But as footballers, you do... you don't want to make a mistake when there's high pressure games and stuff, and I used to take it with my right foot, take it with my right foot, because I trusted that more than my left. But now, he's gave me the confidence to, control that ball with my left hand side now, and it's made things, just that half a second quicker, where I've got a little bit more time on the ball, where I can, pick my pass out or, pick the cross out a little bit better.
The hold your winger thing, if you're telling yourself that, are you telling yourself that in a game, or has that now become natural to you in a game, and maybe you're having to tell yourself, say, the first half of the season?
No, the first half of the season was where I had to really concentrate. I'm still learning in training now, and I was speaking to Leroy that he said it took him, maybe 8 or 9 months before the penny dropped in training. What he needs to do to get the better of people in the possession games and stuff like that. So controlling the winger, I think for me before, I kind of thought, if I can take him the other way, then the winger's going to want to defend, and the best form of defence is attack, etc, etc. But sometimes you have to take your half to some players. You got Sanchez, Hazard, Wilfried Zaha as well is a fantastic player, and he can cause you problems. So if you can spend your energy just attacking, also just defending him rather than getting forward, and then you've always got that 6-yard run back and your legs are like jelly and you're trying to defend against Zaha, for example, it's difficult. And that's probably where fullbacks do go wrong sometimes, where they're so eager to get up the field now. Then when they get back, they've got jelly legs and they're trying to defend against, world-class wingers.
Would Pep Guardiola do a session for you on that out there here at this magnificent academy? Would a session be put on to help you do that, or would that be more a come into my office and let's have a look at a couple of videos of you and maybe this is where you are going slightly wrong?
I think it's a bit of both. He's done both with me. Obviously, me and Delphi, who's played probably the majority of the games there at left back, we've had to do work together, where I'm new coming into his team, and Delphi's a new left back that I think has done tremendously well and needs a lot of credit for what he's done in the shift that he's put in for the team. So we've done a lot of sessions out there, tucking in, making sure that when we've got the ball, we're realising where our position and correct position is to be, and when we haven't got the ball, it's kind of like, all right, where's your winger now? Go and latch onto him.
How much training in general is ball work with the ball, pinging it about, little games of rondo, is it, when you're in the box and stuff? And how much is shape, no ball, the tactical side of it?
Completely honest, is very little with no ball. We play football with a ball. He does like to do a lot of shape. A lot of his way of thinking is get the ball, get in real life situations, so when it does happen on the field, it's not, okay, this is new to me. He does like his meetings, but I know he does like to get onto the field and get himself out there and expressing himself a little bit more there.
If you had a Champions League game Tuesday, Wednesday, and a game on a Saturday or a Sunday, how many meetings would you have?
About 104. Yeah, he's very detailed, and I think that just shows how much he wants to win. He's a winner. Sometimes he doesn't like to do long meetings in the morning because some of us are half asleep, but his meetings are very detailed. They come across really well.
How much do you focus on the opposition? How much is it always about yourselves?
It's a good question. It's difficult, that one. But I think with the calibre of players that we've got in here, we can't worry too much about the opposition. Obviously, they set plays and stuff that they could be good at and stuff like that. But I think if we concentrate on ourselves as a team, we can go on to great things, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. I think the Liverpool game showed us that. I read some articles that we need to win things continuously for a number of years before we're classed as a great team, and I believe that every single one of us want to be recognised as one of the greatest teams to play in the Premier League.
I mean, you've been around football a long time. You've played for a lot of managers internationally and at club level. So do you think players buy into the meeting side of it and the feedback side of it more when the manager and the figurehead is someone who has been so successful in different leagues across Europe?
I think you have to, because he's won everything that you want to win. Bar, I think it's 3 people in the dressing room, no one's won the Champions League. He's done it on a number of occasions, so I think you have to buy into his philosophy, his way of thinking, his way of playing, because the results speak for himself, what he's won. And I think if he didn't, you'd be out the door.
Do you also think you need a squad with the right sort of average age? Because there are a lot of you in your early mid-20s, and that seems a great age for not being quite as wild as you maybe were when you were 17, 18, 19, and right at that prime spot to want to learn and realise what the next decade could bring for you all.
I think it's a good mixture. Yeah. It's a very good mix. Okay, I'm not calling them old, but Yaya and Vincent and David are the senior members and have been around here for, and Dino have been around here for a long time. So they know what it means, to go and lift the Premier League title and stuff like that. And they just kept passing on the knowledge to us. Full credit to the manager. He does try and get his, way of thinking, but he didn't win the Premier League. So for them players to speak up and say, what it means to the fans, that feeling is, now I've got it and I've had it now, it's special, and I hope it can carry on. But we've got players like Leroy. He can go on to be whatever he wants to be. He's frightening. He's frightening. He's nightmare to mark. He'd be one of them wingers that the manager would be saying control. So there's a fine balance, and we've got good youth, and the most important, we've got people that want to learn and want to win.
And I suppose the manager actually takes credit for that and the recruitment process here, because you have to get you have to find the right people to want that.
No, I think definitely. You know, you can have a good player, but it can be a bag head in the dressing room. Everyone that's coming, obviously, I've only been here for 8 months now, but they could hate me in there. I'm just saying this on what I feel. They could completely hate me in there. But I'm just saying, every addition that he's brought in, it's all gelled. Benjamin Mendy is probably the joker, but no one gets annoyed with him because that's just him as a character. And when it comes to training or match days, he's fully focused and he wants the best result, which is a win for Manchester City.
So how much do you put team spirit down to a manager? How much do you put team spirit down to the squad of players that you have? Somebody made a point on Monday that when a lot of your players score the goals, you all celebrate as a group. They point to whoever made the assist to them. They don't go running off on their own to one section. So team spirit, manager, players, both?
Team spirit, I think it comes from the players, a little bit from the manager. We've got the dressing room down there and the manager doesn't come in there. It was the same at Tottenham. We had a great team spirit there, and I think that's what made us going to achieve good things at Tottenham.
Do you need a space where the manager doesn't come in?
I believe you do. If you want to have a conversation, not obviously slagging him off or anything, but if the captaincy group needs to have a conversation to go and discuss to him that they think we could benefit with going out for a team meal or something like that, then the change room's a great place for that, and we do have a conversation together. I can remember after the Liverpool game, we all sat down there and Vince and company organised a meeting, just to say, guys, we've got one last push now for the Premier League and we need to go and do it. And I think that's little things that probably the manager does or doesn't know, but it's something that comes within us as a group of players that want to go on and achieve the Premier League title.
But I suppose you need a manager secure enough in his own methods, personality, skin, to not worry about the players having their own leadership and maybe saying things that do disagree with the manager. You are able to disagree with the manager if there's something you don't think is right.
And I think he'd be quite open to that. If you didn't believe that you was doing something wrong or you could do this differently, I think he'd be quite open to go and knock on his door, get a coffee. He always says, come and have a coffee with me, we'll get the computer and we'll go through it. So I think that's what's quite open, that he's very approachable. I mean, he texted me yesterday because I beat him in the long drive competition, and something like that I've never really had before, that I've got a connection with someone that we can just exchange texts, and it's nothing like, he's a teacher's pet or anything. It's just like he's a friend. He's the manager, but he's a friend as well.
It's grown up, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting old now. Yeah, I'm getting old now. I'm 28 this year. So I like to think I'm a grown-up. I've got 3 kids, so I do like to think I'm a grown-up. But it's just nice that you can have a simple conversation with your boss, and you're both on the same page. And we've actually had a text completely not about football, just about golf. When
you play, when you're out on the pitch, what can you hear from him, particularly when he's on your side?
There's constant instructions, and for me, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll be completely honest, and it's probably because I want to impress. I want to impress him, and he put the faith in me to sign me and stuff. And the first text I exchanged with him, when we won the league, was thank you. Thank you for bringing me here and putting the trust in me to play for your team. And he said, no, obviously don't ever thank me, you guys have done it yourself. And it makes you feel good. Before you ever go onto the pitch, he makes you feel like you're the best player, on the field. His emotions does run away from himself sometimes, and he knows that. But I wouldn't change it for any other way, because I know he's passionate about his job.
Does he give big team talks before you go out? Does he talk to you individually? A bit of both?
He does a group team talk before we go out, but sometimes, I can remember one occasion that he said he didn't need to say anything. We have to just go out and do the business. So it's when he gets the feeling. He has a conversation with us. It could be on the training field where he brings us all in and makes sure we know what we've got to do and how he feels about the game that's coming up or something like that. But he's very good in what he does, I believe, and the results show for himself.
You personally, do you think you would have been as comfortable playing on the right of a back three for England as you were in the last 2 games if you hadn't played under Pep Guardiola this season?
No, probably not. Not for England. I played centre half for Sheffield United a couple of times, Apart from that, I haven't played there. You know, I play for England under 19s and stuff, but I think it's just the confidence that you take from here into the England camp, and you just play. And I've never really had that before. But I think it's the training, the standard of training that's here. You know, you go there and you feel on top of the world. It always helps when you're winning as well, doesn't it? When winning football, that's what we want to do. So I couldn't have probably played on a back three. I fully enjoyed it. As long as I'm on the plane to Russia and I'm starting in that starting 11, that's all I'm bothered about.
But do you think there's greater versatility within you, particularly when you look at maybe what he's done with other right backs at clubs that he's managed? I mean, Philip Lahm's the prime example.
Yeah, I think that I'm learning, you know, and I'm learning not just off the gaffer but off the players as well. There's a lot of players here that you have your own perception of them before you join the team, and I think Fernandinho is definitely one of them. I think he's a top-class player, top-class professional, and most importantly, a fantastic guy that's helped me a lot. I watch him constantly, probably more than Kevin, because how he controls the ball and controls our play is vital to how we play.
And when he did say to you, come into my office anytime, have a coffee, we'll get the laptop out and we'll go through stuff, how long did it take you to maybe pluck up the courage to go, all right, I'll come in for a coffee? Or were you all waiting for the first player to do it and then you kind of went along with it?
I think he's quite good at calling you.
Right.
You know, if he's got something to say that he thinks you're doing wrong or you can improve on, or he would help you in your game, in the next game or whatever, he's quite quick to call you. It's daunting. You sat there, you're just you and him, and you're like, oh my gosh. It's like going to the head teacher. But he's always full of compliments. He's a good guy. I can't speak highly of him enough before the lads start killing me. But you know, it's a pleasure to play for him, and hopefully it can continue for many years.
And does he dish out Roller Kings?
Probably not in front of the group. I haven't heard it yet. He'll do it as a collective because we're a team on the field, but he doesn't single out anyone. I believe if he did have a problem with someone, he'd call him into the office and do it in private, which I think is also fair play to him, that he doesn't want to single out anyone in front of the team.
It's exciting for you as an individual, isn't it, the next few years?
Yeah, well, I've got a contract here till I'm 32, you know, which is fantastic. Hopefully it's many more years, but I need to do a lot, keep my stand up, keep my fitness up, because if not, then, you know, there's always someone biting at your heels that's going to take your place. But as I say, I'm really enjoying it here. I've loved the 8 months, you know, winning the Carabao Cup and obviously the Premier League, getting in the Team of the Year that I found out today. So it's been a fantastic year for me, and, you know, long may it continue.
Lovely to talk to you. Thanks.
No, cheers, thank you. Thanks so much.
Carl Walker talking to me a little earlier on at the City Football Academy. He was fascinating to chat to. Hope you enjoyed that interview. We'll get the thoughts of Guillaume Balaguer, Pat Nevin and Ian Ladyman from the Mail on that interview and some of the things that Carl Walker said over the next half hour or so. You're listening to a Guardiola special on